Now then, there's that time again. We've got new expansions come out, and as always, I'm very hyped to try out some of the new cards. So we've got another six factions, six decks for you. So before I get into all the decks and stuff, I'll talk about the giveaway stuff. So you may have seen over the past month or so, I've been pushing to get to 1,000 subs, and I wanted to do it by the end of the month, and I did actually make it. So was really happy about that, and I massively appreciate it. Sort of something I'd set my sights on at the start of the year, so very nice to see. And as a thank you, I'm doing a few things. So, um, build up to the good stuff for you all. Firstly, we're going to do some special streams. I'm trying to start out doing some art streams and things like that, so you can have some input on things like emotes and all those kind of things, and like overlays. Um, I'm also going to see if we can maybe arrange a tournament. That will depend on if people are interested in doing that. We obviously need people involved. I can't do that alone. I need people who would like to play it. And I've also set up a Discord, something I've been meaning to do, and it's available for you to join. I've only just started it, so a bit of a work in progress. It'll get a bit more complex and have fancy bots doing all sorts in no time. But the shell's there, and you can join, and you can laugh at me messing it up. And finally, we are going to do a giveaway, and that's partially what this video is about. So, not doing one, not two, but three, all in one. The first thing I'm going to give away is, if I can get the name right, it's the Bloody Mistress leader skin. So that's one of the new ones that's out, and it's literally shown right here. And the second thing we're giving away is your choice of three factions expansion packs. So in the pack, you get all the premiums from the new set and one of the premium avatars. So if you're lucky enough to win, I'll get in touch with you. You tell me which three factions you want. You get your choice of those. And so obviously you've got six to choose from. And arguably the sort of best one is the Thanaku combo pack. And what you get with that is basically all of the contents of the faction combo packs. So every card in premium, all of the leader icons, as well as the new card back, the Jester card back, which is pretty nice, to be honest. I really like it. So way to enter in this is a couple of things: is make sure you're subscribed, make sure you like the video, and comment on this video. So the way I'm going to do it is get a list of people from the comments, pull from those. It'll be one entry per person, so spamming 1,000 comments is not going to get you more entries, unfortunately for you. And the deadline for this is Sunday coming up, which, if I check my calendar, I can tell you what date that is. It's the 8th. So doing it over a nice little short period, so there's not waiting around forever. And I will stream on Sunday evening, and we'll do the reveal on there of who wins and everything. You don't have to be in the stream. It's not like if you're not in the stream and you win, I'm just going to say, okay, we'll pick someone else. We'll just do it there. And of course, if you're around, be great to see it live. But if not, I will reply to your comment so you can kind of get in touch with me, and we can figure out getting you your prizes. So, yeah, there's all that going on. Very fun. Now, for this video, it's a six faction, six decks video, which, if you've seen it before, is like the sort of a deck for each faction that I'm looking to try out. I want to play something that's interested me. I need to put in the sort of disclaimer thing because this happens every time. This is not a meta snapshot. This is not me saying these are the best decks for each faction. This is me saying this is what I'm trying. Here's some ideas. Don't shoot me. I'm not saying this is the best thing. That sort of thing. Because this is obviously the start of. We've got some new cards in, so I'm trying some new things. And it is day one, so I've not had time to really rigorously test all of these. Some of these will obviously need you to go away and try them and sort of get a feel for it. Its ideas, you can get a feel for it and say, okay, this card's bad. Swap it out and improve the deck yourself. And the final thing is if there's any guides, I do like a full video on any of these decks. I will link it below this video. So if you look in the description, there'll be a link to it. Obviously, right now, if you're watching this like days come out, none of these are going to be there. But if you're watching this a couple of weeks on, have a look. There might be a guide for a deck if you're interested in that one. So that's pretty much it in terms of the intro stuff. Sorry, this has gone on a bit long. Had a lot to cover. Final thing. I'm also going to be streaming tonight. So if you're watching this, date's out. I'm probably going to be streaming like the evening time. So, well, UK evening time. So figure that out for yourselves, I guess, depending on where you are in the world. So, right, we'll get into the decks because I'm rambling on. So, the first deck, I don't think is going to be surprising. It's a relic deck for monsters. And this isn't a million miles away from sort of what's been floating about past few seasons. But I just really like the look of the new cards. I don't even think you need to play in Gurney for Gurney to be good. I think Force of Nature is still a better choice. Basically, all we've done is thrown in even more relics, a lot of the new cards, and I'm going to see how it goes. I think it's pretty strong. I don't think I need to explain this deck too much because, I mean, it's been floating about for a while. You probably already tried things along this line, but it's the same general concept. We've just got some of the new cards sort of thrown in. One of the things for consideration is Mamuna could get a little awkward. It kind of relies on you playing a Gankian or a Kikimo worker early on in order to sort of temper them back out and stuff when you play it. So it could get a little awkward if you don't get to play one of those. But we have an Aeromancy. It's something to keep in mind. And I didn't want to put Griffins in this deck because Griffins would be bad. Griffins would be very bad. But yeah, we're doing all those kinds of things. And of course, the She Who Knows. That's always a questionable one. I'm still not 100% sure whether you run She Who Knows or you just cut it, but it's what it is. I also really think Selfie is a very, very good card. Very, very good card. So that was like an auto include. But yeah, lots of Thrive stuff, slam a lot of relics, a lot of relic synergies, all that kind of fun stuff. We haven't really gone with any control stuff just because of how Thrive decks typically operate. You don't want specials because they're not triggering Thrive, except from Neuromancy, of course. And Neuromancy's pulling units, it doesn't count. And then we've got double thinning as well to account for the fact that we're basically just slamming units. So yeah, give this one a try. For Nilfgaard, this is actually the only list that doesn't have any of the new cards in there somewhere, just because this is a list I've been using for Nilfgaard and I actually enjoy, and none of the new cards really fit with what he's trying to do. So what's going on here is it's a sort of soldiers, spies kind of archetype thing where we're running Imperial formation, we're running a load of soldiers, we have Imperial enforcers to sort of get the payoff from playing cards like Cantarella, Roderick, Emissary, Informant, Brathens, Joachim, all that kind of stuff. And it's a lot better than I was expecting, to be honest. I built this as a bit of a pile just to kind of mess about, and it was actually doing pretty well for me. We also have Swears in there, which I think probably looks like a weird card, but it's a game-winning card in some games. Like at worst, it's a 9 for 8, and you're probably a little sad if that's the case. But as many times, well, it's been fewer times where it's felt a bit sad than I've hit something key. So something like stealing a Madoc, stealing an engine, because we have pings, we can set things to 3 and then play Swears to steal it. Stealing Koshi, for example. This is like an auto win against Koshi because you get your own Koshi from the one that was spawned off Cranthea, and Swears being played triggers the Thrive on that Koshi, which is pretty insane. And then if you Joachim, next turn, both Joachim and the card it pulls will trigger Koshi, so you basically get Koshi that goes up to 5, spawns 2 Dragas. Kind of nuts. The only consideration I would keep in mind is you need to be so careful with Ivar and Joachim. If Ivar is not in your hand, there is a chance that Joachim pulls it, and there is a chance that Ivar makes you swap his 14 power with the power of a unit on your opponent's side. So you have to be so careful with that. The way to be careful with that is when you use your last leader, let you put a card on top of your deck so you can handpick from the units in your deck what's going to get pulled by Joachim. And the other thing is if you Joachim to pull whatever you Yenbird. So yeah, that's just definitely something to keep in mind. If Ivar's in hand, you don't care. You can be as nonchalant about it as you want. Also, War Council can give you that information so it can pre-warn you, like, okay, you are going to lose this game by pulling Ivar from Joachim. And then you can also just wait until his adrenaline's active, so he just deals 4 on deploy. So there's options there. But yeah, that's definitely one way that you can really shoot yourself in the foot if you're not careful. So NR got some support for mages, which was very nice, and so I built this little pile. What we've really got going on is just a load of mages and the dueling kind of stuff, and lots of the solid cards. And so what we're really looking to do here is really benefit off particularly cards like Centurion Spellweaver, who, if left unchecked, are even better than Reinforced Ballistas, because you can Rune Word into a mage, which gives 2 charges just straight off the bat, which is really, really good. And with the inclusion of the new Patience cards, you can quite consistently run Aretuza Adept now without it feeling kind of sad when you have like one Banard student in your hand and the Adept gets procced once, the Banard student dies, and the Adept's kind of played for 5. With the new Aretuza students, you basically have the equivalent sort of situation you had with Banards, where in round 1 you can play them for quite low tempo, just let the patience kind of tick up, and then in a round 3, like round 2, round 3, play Shani, pull them out with the points they're at, and just straight away keep ticking again. The problem with doing that on Banards was if both of them get answered early, or you only draw 1, for example, it can feel a little clumsy. But with Aretuza Student, obviously damage is better than boost, but it basically doubles the potential for that. Doubles your chance of drawing into it in round 1, doubles your chance of having 1 actually stick and be quite a good payoff for Shani. And of course, with Inspired Zeal, it does mean that when you pull one that's got 6, 7 patience, you can use that last charge to actually get your value before they just ping in 4 points of damage and you feel a little sad. And that's kind of how I've set it up. We have the 2 Jewelers of Anseus and Selkirk, so that uses up 2 leader charges, and then you just kind of have 1 floating, which I think is usually a good way to do it. So you can, use 1 on your Banard student, use 1 on your Aretuza student, something like that. And it seems pretty fun. We also have a Sabrina in here for a couple of reasons. 1, she's a mage, and that kind of means that when you play a Centurion Spellweaver, she just comes down and gives a Centurion Spellweaver 1 charge, so you can trigger it straight away. So it basically works like a very synergistic lacerate, in effect. I think is probably the best way to describe it. It's a lacerate with a lot of good synergy. So yeah, I think this is probably what I'm going to be jamming a little bit over the next couple of days. But there's other things still to come in this video that have got my attention a little bit more. Now, we're finally onto Scoia'tael, and this is a deck that I thought about the second I saw Simless. I love my boy Vanadane. They made the change to Vanadane that I was screaming for, of give you the option for swapping cards. Absolutely love that. Because with Vanadane and Simless, You can Vanadin to get 2 waylays, put them into your deck. Simless can do quadruple waylay. We also have a snowdrop in there, just so that if you like draw into them later, or you don't play your Vanadin until later, because the ideal kind of situation is to play your Vanadin, get 2 waylays, snowdrop to put them back, Simless to play all the waylays, as obviously waylays are a hell of a lot better when Vanadin's on the board, but sometimes that's not possible. We've also got a Fine Def and all the typical kind of solid 4p elves to win that round one, so that we can sort of look to use the whole Vanadin combo as a win condition later on in hopefully a short round. And we have a lot of things that sort of support that elf swarming kind of strategy, because we can quite consistently swarm from 2 sources. So Fine Def lets us swarm, and the whole Simless Vanadin thing lets us swarm. So that means an Isengrim's very good. That means a Yavin's very good. That means Venosiel is going to get ludicrous value. And a lot of the stuff around that is kind of fallback kind of stuff. So we are running Precision Strike, because this will very nicely let us set up those waylays, so we can really look to get as many death blows as possible. Not many games where you're going to get 4 death blows with it, but you run Precision Strike, you can line it up pretty well, similar to how you'd use like a Shiru or something. We also have 2 Swallows in there, and that's just kind of there as they're not terrible cards. I wasn't sure what else to run, and they're kind of there as like fallbacks for Simless. If everything falls apart, you don't find your Vanadin, you draw into a waylay, you don't find your snowdrop, Simless can still do double swallow for 14 points. This is also worth doing in unitless kind of matchups where you're just not going to have the targets for waylays. So it's not an auto concede, basically, is the idea there. Yeah, this is the deck I've been very excited about, and if you drop by the stream tonight, I'm going to be playing an even more degenerate version of this that I thought up, that I will forewarn is very, very bad. I wouldn't try it if you're looking for a positive win rate. But I'll just say this, it's going for 8 waylays. That's the plan. So yeah, jump by the stream and you can see some of that in action. Now for Skellige, I'm running Battle Trance, and running Druids, and running Alchemy, and all that kind of stuff. And we've got a few things going on here. So we have a portal, and we have both Adepts and Hermits, and kind of the reason for this is we can get away with doing this. This is kind of what I was talking about on my reveal, full plug. But yeah, because I revealed the Hermit, and I was talking about this in that you can run both of these. It takes pressure off running bad cards at 4 provisions, and they just kind of work the same because we have synergy with healing. Hermits are better targets for Melusine and their Druids, so they can trigger Gedinith and have all the Druid synergies. Running Battle Trance, so using Alchemy's healing, so like Bear Witch Adepts aren't terrible, just played like as a raw 3 that's going to heal itself. The new Hadru Singers are amazing when cards heal themselves, so having 4 units that heal themselves every single turn is really good. And yeah, it's just looking good. I've also thrown in Melusine. I'm not 100% sure on this card, but I just really want to try it out because A, the art's beautiful, and B, it just seems very fun. I think this deck is definitely going to need some refining before it's quite there, but this was first attempt. We also have an offering to the scene there because look at the art. Like, just go in game, look at the art for offering to the sea, and that's enough. Doesn't matter if the card was play this card and boost the unit by 1 for 10 provisions, I'd still play it. That art is beautiful. So, yeah, my boy Skellige finally getting some love. And the final one is the one you're going to hate me for, but it is Bounty Lined Pockets. And you got to give me the benefit of the doubt on this one. Like, I just want to try the new cards, and the only way that reasonably bounty is going to work is in like a line pockets, drill, freak show kind of deck. I know you're all hating it, but not much else you can really do with Syndicate beyond jackpot and line pockets. And I also want to see how much the nerf is him. They only got a one provision nerf, so it's really not that bad. But yeah, I want to try it out. And really, this just plays like same old decks have always worked. We're running a load of bounties, we're running a load of sources of damage, we're running a load of crimes, we're running Cleaver to set up those pockets, same with Nerf Gradient Justice, and tons of just solid top end, mid range kind of cards. The same old, same old, same old for Syndicate. Uh, in terms of like things to consider, I unintentionally ended up giving this diversion, so I was like, might as well run a Horson. And we have Unreals in there just because there are going to be games where Witchfinder is going to continuously give bounty to a unit that you have no way of getting through, like through damage. It's just going to stay very tall. You know, a Hammer Drive that's hitting 18 points, you need a piece of hard removal to just kill that off, or that is going to be a problem you can't answer quite simply. So that's kind of a reason for his inclusion. Now, that's it. That's it. We're done. We're done. Giving you 6 decks. I'm gonna go play some Scoia'tael. Gonna get on ladder, play some Scoia'tael, because that's literally been the thing I've been excited about since the reveal of Simless. So again, drop by the stream tonight if you want to see some Octa Waylay nonsense, and I will catch you in the next one.